Unfortunately, we need to talk about the Patriots possibly making a trade. I don't want to either. I do really like our roster, and I thought the first game and maybe even the second game of the season, I thought the Patriots could get it done with the players that are on the 53-man roster right now. But you know what the Jets showed me? The Jets showed me that I'm completely and utterly wrong, and we need to bring in some outside sources to help us out here on offense and on defense very, very soon. So, that's why we have Patriots Today by Chat Sports. That's what we're going to talk about here on today's show. If you want the Patriots to make a trade, like this video, because I know I am not alone. And I had high hopes after the first two games the Patriots could get it done by themselves, but it's just not feasible anymore, especially when you look at how many positions we do need help with in the depth chart. Why? Injuries. And of course, you have that one player, Chuck Okorafor, decided to retire after week 1. That sucked. But ultimately, you got Juwan Bentley out with an injury. You need a linebacker. You got no top wide receiver. You do not know who the top wide receiver is just yet on the Patriots offense. It could be Pop Douglas. It could be KJ Osborne. Kendrick Bourne isn't even back in the mix yet. Offensive line, you need 5 new people on that depth chart because holy cow, they're butt. And then cornerback, we really need to start talking about how Jonathan Jones is getting absolutely beat on every single route that he is covering so far in the first 3 games. I hate to be blunt, but there are several areas where the Patriots can get better. So let's talk about the number one, all right? The offensive line are garbage. So let's talk about possibly adding this trade target from the Carolina Panthers, who are also pretty garbage. Well, apparently not. Andy Dalton is the key to everything now. But Brady Christensen, he's an offensive tackle that has now moved to the second string, currently at the center position for the Carolina Panthers. But here's why I think Brady Christensen is such a key to trade for the Patriots offense. Yes, he is currently listed as a second string center for the Panthers, but did you know that Christensen can actually play all 5 positions on the offensive line? Talk about versatility. That's what the Patriots need because they're sorely lacking at several positions on the O-line. We do know that he did tear his bicep in 2023, so he's not perfect. He's not all shiny and new. He's gotten beat up before, but he's very young as well. And he's taken primarily 320 left tackle snaps with a 61 PFF grade as a rookie. I don't love the 61 PFF grade, but as a rookie, I'll take it. Because here is what somebody like Brady Christensen can do for the offensive line until they fully get back up to speed. If you were to put Christensen, who can play all 5 positions, at the right tackle, guess what? Everybody shifts left. That means you get to put Mike Onwenu, sorry, he's actually supposed to be where that right guard position is. You get to put Mike Onwenu back at right guard. He's not a very good right tackle, but guard, that's his specialty. You keep David Andrews, the captain, at center. You get to put Layden Robinson, who's actually done a phenomenal job at right guard. You move him to the left side because Michael Jordan can't get the job done. You keep Caden Wallace there at left tackle until Vederian Lowe can come back. And then what's even better is that you can actually move Layden Robinson even over to left tackle when Sidy so returns, who we do have some promising news coming in from Andrew Callahan. Sidy so actually practiced today. That is huge, who has not practiced since August 25th. Sidy So and Mike Onwenu at both your guard positions is key for the Patriots offensive line to not be shit, because they're shit right now, let me tell you. Also, Vederian Lowe sounds like he will be limited. Unfortunately, getting hurt in week 2. That's why we saw Caden Wallace play week 3. And he didn't do bad. A couple of false starts I don't like, but that's rookie jitters. But Vederian Lowe said, I wish I could sit here and give you a timeline, but I can't. That gives me heart palpitations. Wide receiver Kendrick Bourne, he's making great progress. So we could start addressing 2 positions here in the offensive line and the wide receiver room. But what about the wide receiver room? What about Diontae Johnson, who I know just scored like 92 points for your fantasy team this last week, considering Andy Dalton is now looking like Patrick Mahomes out there. Diontae Johnson is now supposedly on the trade chopping block because the Carolina Panthers are now realizing they may have to throw away their season because they are really really bad. At least the Patriots aren't the Panthers. But here is what ESPN's Dan Graziano had to say about Diontae Johnson possibly making his way to the New England Patriots. Johnson was traded from Pittsburgh to Carolina this offseason. He's 28 years old, so puts a little veteran in your wide receiver room. He averaged 873 yards per season with the Steelers and is making a mere $7 million this year in the final year of his contract. If you pick him up halfway, aka trade deadline, you're paying $3.5 million for a receiver with a solid track record. We know the Patriots have more money than they know what to do with. So Diontae Johnson could end up being a trade deadline prospect if Kendrick Bourne is not ready to go. Because the top receivers, and I mean receivers, not tight ends, not running backs, in the first 3 weeks, Pop Douglas, you want to know where these yards came from? One game. Against the Jets. That is what Pop Douglas did. He, as of right now, is your leading receiver. Jalen Polk, only 31 yards in the first 3 games. And KJ Osborne, same thing. He's kind of been your quick slant, dump off kind of guy in the flats. 28 yards so far in this season. What Diontae Johnson could do with a good quarterback makes him immediately your top receiver. In one game with Andy Dalton, he tallied on 122 receiving yards. In 2 games with Bryce Young, who some would consider a bad quarterback right now, he only tallied 34 yards. You give him Jacoby Brissett, who is a good quarterback, but does not have a good offensive line. Diontae Johnson could make it a lot harder for defenses and secondaries playing for the Patriots. And here's what I like about Christensen, and here's what I like about Diontae Johnson. Let's put them together. Let's make this trade work for the Patriots in multiple positions. So I cooked this trade up here. You get your offensive lineman. You get a pretty good wide receiver, a 28-year-old, a veteran. And you give away Jonathan Jones as your cornerback. You move up Alex Austin. You move up somebody in the cornerback room to take over for Jonathan Jones because the 31-year-old is getting beat, and I know you guys see it. And then you're going to throw in 2 draft picks. Why? Because the Carolina Panthers are going to need to rebuild after this year, and Dave Canales wants draft capital, even if it is just round 6 and round 7 of next year's draft. What do you guys think? I know Jonathan Jones, he's a big leader on the defense, but you've got Gonzalez. Jonathan Jones just really isn't doing it for me right now, but if I am just completely out there, let me know. Would you accept this trade? Type A for accept, type D for decline. I'm going to break down 2 more trade targets for the New England Patriots to maybe go after right now or by the trade deadline. Before that, let me tell you guys real quick about Factor Meals. Factor is our sponsor here on Chat Sports, but I have been using this way before they became a sponsor because your girl does not have time to make the food that I want. And I can't eat Chipotle every day of the week. As much as I would kind of like to, it gets tiring. And ultimately, it's not that great for you and my wallet can't handle it. So Factor Meals allows me to have fresh, never frozen meals that are ready to go in just 2 minutes. Not to mention, when I get to come home, I don't have to spend all my time in the kitchen. No prep, no mess meals. And they also adhere to you. They're dietitian approved, and you can find options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and they have 35 different meals and more than 60 add-ons to choose from every week. So you're always going to find new flavors to explore. No need to eat Chipotle every single night of the week moving forward. Keep kitchen time to a minimum. Head to factormeals.com/patchchat50. Use code patchchat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month. That's code patchchat50 at factormeals.com/patchchat50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is still active. I don't personally think the linebacker is at the top of the priority needs, but knowing and just playing one game without Juwan Bentley, we look like we forgot how to tackle. So now we have to address it. This is where EJ Speed comes into play. He's currently playing linebacker for the Indianapolis Colts, and so far in 2 games, he actually hasn't done that bad. 21 tackles. I mean, the guy is at least stopping the ball carrier or the play from happening, because let me tell you, on Thursday night against the Jets, you couldn't pay those guys to tackle. And then 2023, only having 1 sack, but 12 tackles for loss is huge, because you need to keep the defense off the field because the offense struggles so much that you have defense on there constantly. So you need somebody that's a quick 3 and out, helps the defense get off as soon as possible. Tallying 102 tackles last season, 63 tackles in 2022, and in 2021 he had 31 tackles as well. And EJ Speed, yes, he may be a starter for the Colts, but it could also help out our depth chart here in the fact that Raekwon McMillan is now your Sam. He's now going to be in that linebacker spot where Jawan Bentley was, and he's not bad at all, but you can see you really only have Christian Ellis to work with here. So if you were to bring in somebody like EJ Speed, maybe move Raekwon McMillan back into the depth chart, it just provides some injury insurance because after you had several losses in your defense of defensive tackle, Christian Barmore, and then of course you're going to have Jawan Bentley with a torn pectoral. He's out for the season. And then you can't forget, you lost Matthew Judon, which is a huge leader on the field and off the field for the defense. And I didn't think I would miss Judon because you've got several players who have stepped up so far. But Thursday night changed my mind, man. So now I have a question for you guys. Do you miss Matthew Judon yet? If you do, like this video. Judon's not coming back anytime soon. Hate to break your heart. But I have noticed a dip in that linebacker room in terms of physicality and in terms of making plays happen. It makes me wonder, what if they had Judon on this team? Let's take it a step back here. Let's go to the cornerback room. Because like I said, Jonathan Jones really isn't doing it for me. He's been beat several times. I think Marcus Jones, he's also growing there as well, but Christian Gonzalez is your top guy here. Christian Gonzalez is proving what we all thought he could do last year, but you do need a little bit of help here when it comes to the cornerback depth chart room. And what you're getting here with Tre'Davious White is that he is a little bit on the shorter side here, but 200 pounds, played at LSU, and last year he had 8 tackles and 1 pass breakup. Excuse me, that's what he's done this year. Currently has 1 pass breakup and 8 tackles. And I do still like what you've got with both the Joneses, Marcus and Jonathan Jones. You know, it's fine. You can deal with it. But you're noticing that Jonathan Jones is getting beat. He's missing coverages. You saw it primarily in overtime against the Seattle Seahawks when the Seahawks passing could just completely find anybody open in the flats. They could find anybody open upfield because somebody wasn't doing their job. And I'll be the first one to point out that it was more so on Jonathan Jones' side because Gonzalez has been locking up receivers like Jamar Chase and DK Metcalf in the first 2 weeks. We're not going to talk about week 3 because it's still kind of harsh, but you need to add a little bit more depth. Several positions, but if you do end up trading away Jonathan Jones, you need to move Alex Austin up, and then you've got to refill that spot. So my question here for you guys is, who should the Patriots trade for? It can be one of those 4 players I just mentioned. It could be another player that's out there playing in the NFL right now, but the Patriots need to make a move if they do not want to tank this season and they want to be contenders, at least in the AFC East. Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, help this channel grow. Hit that like button for me. All you guys have to do is hit that thumbs up.